Now, Wave News at 5.
A contentious legal battle between former Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin and his adopted son Jonah. It has now come to an end. This is Wave News at 5. I'm Brian Schlonsky.
And I'm Myra Ansari. In a shocking turn of events today, Matt Bevin, the former governor, and his estranged wife Glenna agreed to legal orders keeping them away from their adopted son for the foreseeable future after claims that they abused him for years.
Ward Jollis was in the courtroom where it all happened and joins us live now to break down exactly what happened. Ward?
Yeah, Brian, Myra, this is certainly not what anyone expected heading into this hearing today, especially after that lengthy hearing last week in which Jonah Bevin laid out a number of abuse claims against his adopted parents, the Bevins. Most notably, the claims that they abused him physically and verbally growing up and then abandoned him at a Jamaican facility where he says he was severely beaten and abused for weeks before he was rescued and the facility shut down. Last week, there was some emotional back and forth in court between Jonah and Matt Bevin, who was representing himself. We were expecting a continuation of that today, but as soon as the meeting started, attorneys for Jonah said all of the parties had reached an agreement. Former Governor Bevin agreed to a 6-month EPO starting today, meaning no contact with Jonah and potential jail time if he violates that order, while former First Lady Glenna Bevin agreed to a civil restraining order, which carries less severe penalties if broken.
Because it looks like to everybody that Matt Bevin had everything figured out in his life, but he had nothing figured out. There's an image they want people to see, and they don't want an actual image of what's actually going on in their homes. And today, we brought it out. We brought out what he didn't want people to see.
Now, that emergency protective order against the former governor takes effect today. Once it expires in 6 months, then that will turn into a civil restraining order as well, similar to the one that was filed against Glenna. The terms of those restraining orders, though, still have to be worked out amongst attorneys. Coming up at 6, we'll discuss other surprise stipulations added to these new protective orders and break down how the former governor responded when I confronted him about the allegations. Ward Jollis, Wave News.
All right, Ward, we'll see you back here then. In the meantime, we are learning more today about what happened during a chaotic road rage shooting. The person who fired the shots was actually the victim in this case. Graham Bain appeared in court today on felony wanton endangerment charges. This is related to February's incident on Carlisle Avenue near Taylor Boulevard. Police say before the shooting, Bain brake-checked another driver and started chasing the man's van with his 3 grandkids inside. Court documents say Bain rammed the van, so the grandfather shot and injured Bain. Dashcam video recorded that whole incident. Now, police did not show that video in court today, but an LMPD officer described what happened.
So the van comes to a stop on Carlisle on the south side of the street. The defendant's car is seen at a very high rate of speed, speeding down Carlisle, and strikes the back driver's side where the kids were sitting and flips up and almost actually flips over and then sets back down. That's when the victim starts ordering stop. I have the grandkids, hears the car going to gear, fires the shots, and then the car is struck again.
She also mentions how 2 pedestrians were struck nearby on Taylor Boulevard during this whole thing. The judge found probable cause to send this case to a grand jury. Bain's bond was lowered, though, to $75,000.
The retrial of a Louisville man accused in an execution-style double homicide started today. Milan Harris faces 35 to life in the December 2020 deaths of Antonia Lucas and Daniel Ky Jr. the night before New Year's Eve. As
Wave News reporter Alina Noakes tells us, both sides are painting a completely different picture of what happened that night.
Well, Brian, getting straight to the point here, the Commonwealth says all the evidence leads back to Milan Harris as the killer, but the defense says the exact opposite. Absolutely none of it does. They suggest the actual killer has never been caught.
21-year-old Antonia Lucas and 23-year-old Daniel Ky Jr. did not live to see any of the last 4 years. They both went missing on December 30th, 2020.
We knocked on 2 doors, and then they told me, this is a dangerous neighborhood. We can't help you anymore, and good luck.
Their bodies were found only hours later on New Year's Eve, stacked on top of each other in this rented black Ford Fusion. Police say it was driven and parked in Smoketown by the killer.
He drove that car with 2 dead bodies next to him and a pool of blood in the driver's seat.
The man accused is Milan Harris, a longtime friend of Daniel Ky.
You know, ma'am.
That's Ky's mom, locking eyes on her son's accused killer on the stand, testifying to the last hours he was alive. Her son and Lucas each shot twice from a gun that's never been recovered.
This was nothing less than an execution.
Prosecutors say they never saw it coming.
The evidence does not lie. It reveals the truth.
Matching ballistics, phone calls between Harris and Ky, positive DNA on the rental car's trunk, evidence prosecutors argue undeniably connects Harris to the crime. But Harris's defense tells the jury absolutely not. Defense evidence is the same as the Commonwealth's, but they say ballistics are questionable. Ky had other phone calls not from Harris, and DNA excludes him.
The Commonwealth, Louisville Metro Police Department, and every other agency involved in this case never considered any other suspect. Never looked for anyone else. They went after trying to prove Milan Harris did this.
Now, this retrial is expected to stretch into next week. Harris faces charges of murder, felon in possession of a handgun, and persistent felony offender. Alina Noakes, Wave News.
All right, thank you, Alina. Well, some of us got some sunshine, while other of us just had to deal with a gloomy day.
Oh, too bad out there right now, but you're going to want to grab a sweatshirt, maybe a jacket if you're heading out and about this evening. Might need an umbrella, too. Let's check in with Kevin, see how tonight is shaping up.
Yeah, we've got a few showers on the radar now, mainly to our north. When you look south, you can still see some of the dark clouds. Some breaks in the cloud cover in places have yielded warmer temperatures. If you look at Litchfield, they're at 61, Evansville 60, a little more sunshine down that way, while places like Madison at 45 have been under clouds and some of this light rain through the last couple of hours. We still have more light rain spreading across parts of Lawrence County, northern Orange, Jackson, Washington. That's going to be moving down to the north, or moving from the north and west off to the south and east. And that will be pushing across parts of southern Indiana and northern Kentucky. That's our small rain chance for tonight. You'll see that reflected in the next 12 hours, 30% through the early evening hours. Fade that rain chance down, bring it back up a little tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about more rain chances and an alert day for the weekend, all coming up in just a few.
Good deal. Thank you, Kevin. Some of the president's top national security officials facing tough questions on Capitol Hill.
It comes a day after a journalist revealed that he was accidentally included on an unclassified group chat with key cabinet members discussing military plans to bomb Houthi rebels in Yemen.
While administration officials and their closest allies have been downplaying this breach, Democrats and even some Republicans are calling for answers. The politicians say they want an investigation launched into how it happened. NBC's Vaughn Hilliard has the latest from Washington.
Sloppy, careless, incompetent behavior, particularly towards classified information.
Amid a national security firestorm, the Trump administration's highest intelligence leaders grilled over how they discussed sensitive and potentially classified military information in a group chat that included a journalist, the CIA director and director of national intelligence, confirming they were on the chat, but denying any information on the attack in Yemen was classified. Democrats calling them out.
Senator, I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Why are you going to get into the specifics? Is it because it's all classified?
Because this is currently under review by the National Security
Because
Council.
it's all classified? If it's not classified, share the text now.
The timing of U.S. airstrikes, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and therefore the timing of sending U.S. air crews into hostile airspace, correct?
Yes.
The National Security Council already authenticated the exchange on the messaging app Signal, which happened just hours before the U.S. attacked Houthi rebels in Yemen. Atlantic Magazine editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg says National Security Advisor Mike Waltz inadvertently invited him to the chat.
I received a text in this chain from Pete Hegseth detailing the war sequencing, the attack sequence, weapons packages, targets, all that sort of thing.
Goldberg releasing screen grabs of the text that describe how the vice president, Secretary of Defense, and others talked about the attack and celebrated.
The CIA director came in with operational information. The National Security Advisor came in with after-battle assessments, or actually during battle assessments of the damage done.
President Trump standing by Mike Waltz.
Our national security now is stronger than it's ever been.
Some Republicans concerned, but trying to avoid the incident.
I'm saying there needs to be more investigation.
Republican Senate Majority Leader John Thune today said that everybody has acknowledged mistakes were made, including inside of the White House, and that there may be the potential of a committee being called to hear from witnesses directly. Vaughn Hilliard, NBC News, Washington.
The Indiana Senate has passed a bill calling for sheriff's offices across the state to work with ICE. The original version of House Bill 1393 required a police officer to notify ICE after arresting someone who's suspected of being in the U.S. illegally. Well, a new version of this bill takes officers on the street out of that equation. The hope is to eliminate racial profiling concerns. Now, the bill would require the sheriff or jail staff to notify ICE if they have information to believe someone is here illegally. It would happen after that person has been arrested for a misdemeanor or a felony. Those against the legislation still believe it won't fix the issue. The bill is going to head back to the House for a full vote.
Not just a building, but a community. It's the message from staff today as a brand new apartment complex designed to help homeless people off the streets open its doors today.
Yeah, this complex is really the first of its kind here in Kentucky. I was out there today. I spoke to people who have lived on the streets before. They tell me this place hopefully is going to change their lives.
The last 2 years has been a lot through, yes.
A lot is quite an understatement. William has lost his right leg, had heart surgery, battled diabetes, and before that, lived on the streets of Louisville without a permanent home.
A lot of people think homeless people are lazy and on drugs and stuff like that. So, like I said, you know, one paycheck away, you could be like that too.
Today, William hopes to put those worries behind him forever. Today, he's standing in front of his new home, the Sheehan Landing Complex off Preston Highway.
There's nothing like this in Kentucky, right, of scale.
It's why people like the mayor and lieutenant governor showed up today, along with dozens of others. Modeled after similar facilities in cities like Seattle and Denver, it's what's known as permanent supported housing. Here, there are 80 furnished one-bedroom apartment units designed to help combat Louisville's homeless issue. The people who live here may suffer from disabilities, substance abuse. It's built specifically for the toughest people to house. It's why services will be available here on site.
That's what we're doing. We're providing housing that people can afford, and our staff will be here 24/7 to support them as they work through the other challenges that they may have.
People like William.
I do imagine brighter skies, yes.
Who have already been through so much, but see brighter skies and something we all wish for in the days ahead.
A peace, you know, just
Peace. Well, money from the American Rescue Plan Act to help to fund this whole project. As for the move-in dates, staff at the complex tell me all the applicants have been selected. People will move in as soon as possible between now and April 15th.
A Louisville restaurant is accused of serving a man what amounts to almost 19 regular beers in one visit. Coming up ahead at 5:30, we're going to have more on the hearing and the restaurant's fight to keep their liquor license.
Plus, new apartments are set to go up in a prime location. It's not far from Lynn Family Stadium. We are learning more about the project that promises more entertainment to come.
Vern. Now, Wave News.
A deal has been signed to develop property around Lynn Family Stadium.
Early plans call for the construction of 200 new apartments. Wave News reporter David Mattingly is in Butchertown, where today's announcement is being called a first step.
And that first step, Myra, is going to be right here. This is the gray parking lot just outside of Lynn Family Stadium. Now, when you look at this area from the air, it doesn't look like that big of a place. But plans are to turn this into a place where hundreds of people would want to live and make Butchertown their home. Soccer Holdings LLC, which is the owner of the Lou City and Racing Louisville soccer clubs, has partnered with a developer to create what's being described as a vibrant, mixed-use entertainment sports district. But right now, they're a little short on details on what that might eventually be.
That doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of methodical planning, patience, time and money. Market conditions have to be appropriate. So we are working towards that every day.
We did get to see pictures today of what the proposed apartments could look like on the outside. Mayor Craig Greenberg is directing state development funds to the stadium district. and that will take the form of parking and sidewalks. No word yet on when construction might start or when the apartments might be move-in ready. Reporting live, David Mattingly, Wave News.
All right, thank you, David. There's also an effort to build a sports entertainment district in downtown Louisville. The $250 million development would be located steps away from Slugger Field. It would include more than 500,000 square feet of mixed-use development with plans for hundreds of apartments, hotel, bars, restaurants, and shops. There's no blueprint yet, but these are just renderings of what it could look like. The project is part of an ongoing plan to link downtown Louisville with Butchertown, New Lou, and Waterfront Park.
We have got just a little over a month before the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. How cool is this? One of the horses gunning for the roses is now in town. We will have more on his preparations.
Oh, we've got temperatures that are running below average today. Hopefully by Derby time, they're back into the 70s. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, we've got a little ways to go before then. We're going to talk about 70s that show up in the forecast along with an alert day. We've got that when we come back.
Well, we talked a bit about it yesterday. Kevin called it. We dealt with the rain overnight, and it doesn't seem like we're done with that just yet.
No, we can't put away those umbrellas.
Yeah, we've got rain chances sort of stacked up through the small rain chances now, and then they increase toward the weekend with an alert day, which we can't get rid of either, it seems.
The weekends.
I know.
Yeah,
it's
always.
like, oh, weekend after weekend, something to talk about. Hey, the shower chances this evening will gradually fade, but we're still seeing those on the radar now, and I'll show you that in a second. This is the future radar, giving an idea to what's to come, and you'll notice those small rain chances generally across southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, along and north of Interstate 64. That's going to be the best place to see the rain. We'll actually break some of the clouds up tonight, and clouds will thin out, and temperatures will go into the 30s. And then by early tomorrow morning, a few more showers may develop and push our way, so rain chances ease back up mid-morning tomorrow. When we look at the next 12 hours, you can see that 30% rain chance through this evening, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, then take the rain chances down. We'll bring those back up around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and then take them down again. So it's a little push and pull with our rain chances that we have going on. Let's get you outside. Take a look at these SkyTrack cameras from the Kentucky Mesonet sites. This is in Bullitt, Franklin, Adair, and Marion counties. Partly sunny skies, those locations. And temperatures, yeah, well, we have more sun, like Adair County. You're in the upper 50s, not far from 60 degrees. A few more clouds in Bullitt County, mid-50s, and even more clouds with some rain in Frankfort. Temperature there at 50 degrees. 40s nearby in LaGrange and Madison. Southern Indiana, more clouds, more rain. A lot less or fewer clouds to the south and southwest, giving those folks the warmer temperatures. When we look closely at the radar, you can see the clouds putting down some light rain. This is Lawrence County down into Orange County, just north of Paoli. We work our way over into Jackson, northern parts of Washington, even into Jennings County. Some light rain. That spills across the Ohio River into parts of northern Oldham County, but in particular Trimble and Carroll, northern Henry County too, seeing some of those light showers. This is not a big rainmaker, but it's enough to at least to have to turn the wipers on if you're out. This will be pushing through this evening. That fades away, and then the clouds will thin out overnight. Temperatures will be a little cooler tonight as we drop into the 30s. By tomorrow morning, note the time, 7 a.m., we see a few showers spilling back into the area. This is that small rain chance Wednesday morning. Only a 20 to 30% chance through that time. And then again on Thursday. Rain chance later in the day. This would be in the afternoon and evening hours if the rain moves through. This could contain a little bit of thunder on Thursday into early Friday. Temperatures by the latter part of the week will be warming up. 55s where we stand now. Our temperatures will be going into the 30s as mentioned overnight, so it's a cooler night for us. Tomorrow, 58. A partly sunny sky develops in the afternoon. I'll break down in the 10-day forecast those rain chances. Again, you'll notice Wednesday comes in with a 30% chance in the morning hours. Just breaking that down even further, trying to be as precise as we can. That's that 8, 9, 10 o'clock time frame, 20, 30%. 60% rain chance Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Notice the 70s coming back. And then we get the alert day. Still focused on that for Sunday. That is a cold front that will be moving across the Ohio Valley. Drag some thunderstorms through here. A lot of uncertainties on this, but still at this point, we remain in that slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center. We'll have to, again, just wait for some high resolution data to come in. That storm's still not in the United States just yet, but once we're able to get some of that data, we'll be able to fine-tune, become more precise on not only the geographical area, but the intensity and what to expect with that by late in the day Sunday.
You've been keying in on that day for a little bit here.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the alert days, is we like to give you that first alert.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay.
Well, we are creeping up on the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby, and one of the contenders for the race was in town today testing out the track. Tastic arrived at Churchill Downs this morning. The horse will stay at Hall of Fame trainer Steve Asmussen's barn 38, where he'll begin preparing for the Run for the Roses. Tastic qualified to race in the Derby after recently winning the Louisiana Derby on Saturday, and many contenders will be making their way to the Bluegrass for training. All Derby and Oaks contenders must be on the grounds by 11 a.m. on Saturday, April 26th to compete. We'll be right back.
Senator Rand Paul is hoping to restore legislation that would keep families from buying junk food with their SNAP benefits. Today, he introduced the Nutritious SNAP Act. He says it would improve public health. Paul argues that SNAP was created to fight hunger, not aid in obesity and chronic disease with taxpayer dollars. The legislation would keep people from using SNAP benefits to buy things like sodas, chips, brownie mixes, and other snacks and desserts. It would instead restrict them to buy more healthy options. Paul proposed a similar measure back in 2012. That one was rejected.
Live Nation has settled a $20 million lawsuit around its alleged practices in making misleading statements about industry competition. And this suit was not filed by customers, venues, or investigators. Rather, it was filed by investors in 2023. They claimed that the Ticketmaster parent company lied to them about its vulnerability to antitrust complaints. And the investors argued that the company should have warned them that it was likely to face scrutiny and fines. Live Nation has denied any wrongdoing.
Next at 5:30, Oldham County teachers are getting a pay raise. They'll also be raising starting pay for all incoming staff. We're going to take a look, see how the salary compares to years before.
Plus, some U of L senior football players, they are hoping to hear their name call for the NFL draft. Sports reporter Dusty Baker has more on how they're getting prepared. A Louisville restaurant stands close to losing its liquor license. Metro Alcohol Beverage Control inspectors argue that waiters served one man what amounts to more than 200 ounces of beer in one visit.
Well, ABC found out because LMPD arrested the man after he drove, hit, and ultimately killed a pedestrian. All this happened last October. Wave News' Jose Zozaya is here with the big takeaways from today's hearing.
Yeah, Brian, Myra, a hearing officer will now have to comb through 5 hours of security video taken that night inside of Victoria's Mexican restaurant. It's just on Hikes Lane. But ABC and police say that video shows the customer in question drank all of this beer in 5 hours. Now, the reason that matters to ABC is because October 30th of last year, LMPD arrested Victor Dominguez for hitting someone with his car on Breckenridge Lane near I-264. What started as an assault and driving under influence charges case is now upgraded to murder when this victim died. Now, we heard police testify that they traced Dominguez's night back to Victoria's restaurant. Even though the property owner was not there that night, ABC claims servers on that shift also drank alcohol and moreover failed to use their best judgment to realize Dominguez was more than likely obviously impaired after being served 7 32-ounce beers. The owner's attorney argues restaurants are not compelled to train staff on recognizing when someone's drunk, though his client would be willing to take that training.
To accuse ABC of not providing training, no, they don't have to. But I believe that any responsible bar owner, any responsible restaurant owner would take that upon themselves to provide their own servers training.
So if we're keeping score, she should lose her license because they didn't have training that they don't have to have. That she didn't keep records that she kept and provided and produced. We heard about people being evasive, and we found them to be less evasive when somebody spoke to them in their own language.
Now, in Dominguez's case, he is said to have a pretrial conference for this whole matter in April. And as for the restaurant, the officer in charge of the hearing gave both sides 30 days to submit their evidence of the facts of what happened inside of the business that particular night. Myra?
All right, thank you, Jose. A Kentucky mother is accused of driving drunk with her young child in the car. According to an arrest report, officers responded Saturday evening to a call about a person down in their vehicle in Lexington. The citation says 40-year-old Jennifer Four was in her car along with her 2-year-old daughter. It said that Four had driven her car up on a curb and then stopped. The report says that she smelled like alcohol, so officers performed field sobriety tests. Four is charged with wanton endangerment and endangering the welfare of a minor and operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol.
Police say an 18-year-old driver who was trying to get away from officers caused a 4-vehicle crash that put himself and 5 other people in the hospital. Indiana State Police say Frankie Vasquez was behind the wheel. When this crash happened, it was around 11 last night. Troopers say they saw a car speeding that had a headlight out. This was near 8th Street and Sharon Drive in downtown Jeffersonville. Troopers say when they tried to stop the car, Vasquez sped off. They tried to put down stop sticks. That didn't work. Vasquez eventually crashed into 2 other cars near the intersection of 10th and Spring Streets. That crash caused one of those cars to then hit a tow truck. Vasquez still tried to make an escape with the wrong way up the I-65 off-ramp before finally stopping. In total, Vasquez, 3 adults and 2 children were taken to area hospitals. Police say they found suspected drugs and a weapon there at the scene. They say Vasquez will be formally charged after he's released from the hospital.
Well, the flowers and the trees telling us that it's spring. I've noticed a lot of things already blooming outside.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, but it doesn't always feel that way. It's still been a little bit chilly. Kevin, gonna need a jacket tonight, umbrella perhaps as well for heading out and about?
Yeah, a few spotty showers on the radar. Those are starting to fade already, so that's the good news. Certainly a cloudy sky. Looks like it could rain at any moment over the downtown skyline from our SkyTrack camera. It's 55, so we have cool temperatures, cooler to our north where they've been mostly cloudy and sort of under that canopy of clouds with the lighter rain throughout the day. You'll notice on the last few scans of the radar, shrinking. So that rain is fading away. A closer view shows a few of those spotty showers across Lawrence County, northern Orange, Jackson, Jennings County, back across the river, southern parts of Trimble and Carroll counties of Kentucky, and a good chunk of Henry County down toward Newcastle. Outside of that, many areas are going to stay dry this evening and into the overnight. In fact, once this batch of clouds and rain passes by, we're going to be left with some clearing skies, and that will yield a colder night tonight as temperatures drop into the 30s. It's a 30% chance of a shower or a light sprinkle through about 8 or 9 o'clock, and then the rain chance fades. Doesn't go completely away, though. We'll bring it back tomorrow. Going to talk about rain chances for the balance of the week and the alert day for the weekend from the Weather Garden coming up in about 9 minutes.
We'll see you then, Kevin. So the NFL draft, that's less than a month away. The first round set to begin on April 24th.
Wave News sports anchor Dusty Baker was out at the Cards facilities earlier today. He got a last look at several Cards who may hear their names called on draft day.
Yeah, and right now, of course, you're talking we're a month away. This is their really last opportunity to make a final statement. And of course, there are some Cards a lot of people have their eyes on right now with the NFL draft. A very special moment, of course, for college football players to hear their names called. They get a huge hug from the commissioner, Goodell, whether they like it or not. And then they get to don the jersey of their new team. But only a few do get to experience the feeling of having that name called on draft day. And of course, U of L hosting their pro day, allowing their players to get that one last look in front of scouts before teams are on the clock in Green Bay for the upcoming draft. 21 Cardinals players displaying their talents in front of numerous NFL scouts this morning at the Traeger Fieldhouse. The harsh reality of the business, there are only 7 rounds in the NFL draft. Not all 21 will hear their names called up through the final round, but there were quite a number of notable players participating that will most likely hear their names called early, including quarterback Tyler Shuck, who has been turning heads leading up to the draft, as well as defensive lineman Ashton Gelati and cornerback Quincy Riley as well. We caught up with Shuck, who discussed why he believes he can lead an offense at the NFL level.
I think for me, I'm the most pro-ready guy when it comes to my experience, what I've been through in my journey, just facing adversity, overcoming it. All my physical tools I feel like are top of the cream of the crop, and just what I bring to the table just from in the meeting room, I feel like I add value, whatever situation I'm going to be in, whether it's a backup role, a starter, I feel like I'm ready to go and compete.
As Myra analysis right there analyzed, she basically said he has a great arm. Yeah, and he does. In the NFL draft, of course, analyst Chad Reuter, who also studies this, his most recent mock draft, he is Shuck going in the 3rd round at 83 to the Steelers, as well as Quincy Riley at the 90th to the Rams. Ultimately, we can predict all we want, guys, but it'll come up on draft day probably completely different than what we expect.
Myra got it from you, not Chad, though.
No, Myra has great analysis. That's all I have to say.
Myra has no idea what she just said.
Hey, we'll bring her to tournament time this Wednesday. All right, speaking of the Cards, if you're a Cards fan, you can grab a special U of L limited edition bourbon bottle signed by head coaches Pat Kelsey and Jeff Waltz. The single barrel bourbon was exclusively chosen by U of L's president. The bourbon bottle features a sticker with the school name and the release year. It'll cost you around $90 per bottle. You can grab one this Thursday. They'll be available from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Kroger on Ballardsville Road. There will also be a chance to win signed basketballs from both coaches.
Roy Jones Jr. is bringing Fight Night to the Derby City. The former world champion will showcase a large fight card at the Gillespie on April 19th. Jones is managing Louisville native Price Sparrow, who will make his professional debut. The full card will be announced closer to the event, and tickets for the Fight Night, they are on sale now.
New at 5:30, Oldham County teachers are getting pay raises. That will go into effect this summer. Starting July 1st, teachers will get a 5% raise to their salary. The bump for starting pay for teachers is up to $48,769. It's up nearly $12,000 from the 2021-2022 school year. The Oldham County Board of Education says they approved several items. All of it's in an effort to hopefully help retain and recruit more staff. In addition to the raises, the board approved to decrease student fees by $40 next year.
Waterfront Park's latest attraction is opening tomorrow. It's a new play port on Rowan Street. It's the first part of Waterfront Park Phase 4, which expands west along the river between 10th and 14th Streets. The Kentucky Science Center designed the play port. The idea is to highlight the Ohio River and then bring construction-themed play equipment and STEM experiences for kids of all ages. The White House wants to make swift changes to Social Security. We're detailing the challenges that they face to get it done in a matter of weeks.
Plus, the Cats heading off to Indianapolis for the NCAA tournament. We will hear from business owners who say they are ready to welcome our fans.
This newscast is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Now, Wave News.
Thousands of fans will head to downtown Indianapolis for the next round of the NCAA tournament.
And that includes Big Blue Nation as the Cats prepare to take on Tennessee Friday in the Sweet 16. Samantha Johnson has more on the preparation for sports fans this weekend.
The top 4 teams in the Midwest region will be taking over Lucas Oil Stadium later this week, and folks with the Indiana Sports Corps say this city is ready.
Yeah, we're really excited to have the regional back here in Indianapolis. It's actually the first time it'll be hosted here at Lucas Oil Stadium since 2014, so it's really exciting.
Friday night's Sweet 16 doubleheader will showcase the UK Wildcats taking on Tennessee. Then it's top-ranked Houston against Purdue and the home crowd. The Midwest is the only region with its top-seeded teams still dancing. Staff at the Slippery Noodle just down the street from Lucas Oil say they're expecting most of this year's fans to drive into Indianapolis.
We're expecting a great crowd this weekend, having the good fan bases from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Purdue. So 3 great kind of regional teams that'll do well, and we're excited to have them all here.
30,000 fans are expected inside Lucas Oil this weekend. Tickets are still available, starting at $150.
And we know the Cats fans love a celebration. The city has implemented safety measures following the outcome of Friday's game. The Lexington Police Department is urging the community to celebrate responsibly. Officers will monitor celebrations. They say any vandalism, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct will not be tolerated. UK police will increase patrols on campus during and after the game on Friday. Lexington Fire will also be on standby with various units in the area.
Well, back to the fun stuff. Tomorrow night, we've got you covered. I will join Wave Sports Director Kendrick Haskins, Wave Sports reporter Dusty Baker. We'll break down the NCAA tournament on Tournament Time. You can see all the action, 7:30 this Wednesday evening. All of it right here on Wave.
As hundreds of people are being relocated from Dusker Manor, they are getting help from local businesses to help with their move.
In weather, we're talking about small rain chances today and again tomorrow before rain chances go up for the end of the week and parts of the weekend. We've got an alert day to mention. We'll walk you through that from the Weather Garden when we come back.
It is time to check in on your forecast. Maybe you are sitting at home catching some wave, and then you're going to go out, maybe walk, get some dinner or something. Jackets, umbrellas, probably a good idea to bring them.
Yeah, Kevin, when is it going to warm up? I feel like we've been in this constant state of gloom.
A rut.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hit the 70s by Friday, so that's nice.
That'll do.
That's something to look forward to.
Comes with a decent rain chance, though, so that's always the give and take this time of year. You crank the temperatures up, the rain chances go up with it because you get that southerly flow from the Gulf. And we've got a few sprinkles out here in the Weather Garden that we're noting, but we won't see a whole lot more than that. Light rain and sprinkles from I-64 north is going to be will be possible through the next few hours. We're at 55 right now, so we keep cooling down with the clouds building in. This is the future cast. Notice the spotty showers fading away as the evening wears on, and the clouds will fade away too. That allows temperatures to fall into the 30s overnight tonight before the cloud cover increases once again by morning, bringing another small rain chance to the picture during the early morning hours tomorrow. This is tonight. The next 12 hours, you can see we're at a 30% rain chance through about 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Then we'll take the rain chance down and start to bring it back up around that 8, 9, 10 a.m. time frame tomorrow. It's a 20, 30% chance once again. Many areas will stay dry. These are just these pesky showers that are on the base of this jet stream that we have across the area. Notice our temperature, 55, Louisville. Lots of 40s to our north and not far from 60 to our south. In fact, Litchfield in the low 60s for a while this afternoon, now back to 59. Evansville still holding on to 60. Well, you check the satellite view. The clouds are across parts of the area, but to our south, they've seen more sun today. You'll notice the rain becoming more and more spotty. That rain will continue to fade away as it moves to the south and east, and that's why the rain chance this evening is so very low. Many areas staying completely dry. Most of us, in fact, staying completely dry. You see a few showers across parts of northern Jackson County, Jennings County, and then back into Henry County of Kentucky. Mentioned that future cast. By tomorrow morning, the clouds roll back in. These are a few of those spotty showers expected during the morning hours, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Not many. Some afternoon sun will go partly sunny. Temperatures stay below average once again for tomorrow. Thursday, boom, more clouds back in here. A better chance for some of these showers rolling in late afternoon and evening. Those will be with us, and temperatures are going to start going up. We're back into the 70s by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This jet stream I mentioned is sort of buckled right across the Ohio Valley with the colder temperatures in the northeast. The real warmth is back off to the south and east. We're sandwiched in between. Our temperatures aren't too far from where they should be for this time of year, but with that jet stream nearby, we continue to feed off the cloudy skies and the light rain chances. Well, that will start to change as we pump up warm air from the south and plenty of moisture. That means highs are going into the 70s by Friday with a better rain chance. We push that rain chance past us Friday, set the stage for even a more robust round of showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. This will likely be in the afternoon or evening hours. Still some sort of qualifications on this that have to be hammered out. What time of day? What will the intensity be? What will it bring us in terms of severe weather? It's possible, is what we'll say at this point. We're outlined in that slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center. 55, our current temperature. Take it into the 30s tonight. It will be chilly. Tomorrow, another cool day, 58, upper 50s Thursday. Rain chances going up. The alert day later in the day Sunday, a brief cool down. And we're back into the 70s and more unsettled weather mid to late next week.
All right. Well, thank you, Kevin. We're waiting for those 70s.
Yeah, we'll wait. Thanks, Kevin. Louisville Metro Housing Authority is teaming up with 2 partners to support the relocating of Dosker Manor residents, Happy Home Furniture and Schmidt Furniture. They're providing items residents will need in their new home. Each qualifying household will receive items like a sofa and a table, kitchen table, chairs, and more. Since the relocation started last July, more than 230 households have been moved from Dosker Manor.
Indiana's first mobile lung screening program is coming to Clark County. This includes a 40-foot truck with a CT scanner. The program will offer a convenient and accessible way to detect lung cancer early. That's when it's most treatable. The mobile lung screening event will be from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. April 1st to the 3rd at Ivy Tech Sellersburg. Annual lung cancer screenings are recommended for adults ages 50 to 80 with a smoking history. We'll be right back. The White House is pushing to make changes to Social Security, and they want to do it as soon as possible. Those changes generally take about 2 years to implement, but the Trump administration wants them done in 2 weeks. As of now, no changes to actual benefits have been announced. However, starting at the end of the month, Social Security will require beneficiaries who can't prove their identities online to visit a field office. Existing beneficiaries who need to change their banking information must do that in person. Advocates fear this will lead to long lines and inefficiencies at field offices.
President Trump will be allowed to keep refugees from coming into the U.S. An appeals court ruled today that the Trump administration can stop approving new refugees while a lawsuit over the issues plays out. This won't apply to those who were conditionally approved for refugee status before January 20th. The order came from a panel made up of a Clinton appointee, a Trump appointee, and a Biden appointee. And they'll take a closer look at the disputes in the coming weeks.
We want to thank you for joining us here for Wave News at 5 o'clock.
Wave News at 6 is coming up next.